Hello, Ryan Kruse here with Sporting Omaha Football Club, and I just wanted to take a few minutes and talk about what has been one of the more, if not most, meaningful coaching experiences in my life. And I've been fortunate enough to have quite a few, whether it be through national coaching schools, mentors like my colleague Alex Mason, and a number of other people that have influenced my life. But probably the one that really helped influence and shape my current way of thought with the whole coaching gig was a trip that I spent in Spain about 8 years ago, and was lucky enough to spend about a week and a half there at various coaching workshops with the Spanish Federation and then other various clubs like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, Espanyol, Villarreal, and several others. And really the two takeaways that I wanted to share in terms of how I think those experiences can translate to what we're doing here in good old Nebraska is, one, the importance and what it really means to focus on the promotion of the player as you go through your coaching methodologies. And it's really, an overused phrase, player development, and we develop players, and what does that really mean? But there really are a number of differences between going out and trying to win games or be successful on a given day versus how you really impact and influence players long term. How do you lay out challenges? How do you present obstacles? How do you present situations the players have to deal with over the course of time that can fully develop them as players? In other words, sometimes coaches, myself included, sometimes will get in conflict if we're faced with situations on a given day or a given event where we really feel like we need to win a game. But the values of developing players can't be compromised in those moments. In fact, I would argue those are the most important moments. Say the score is tied and you have an opportunity to put a player maybe in an uncomfortable position, maybe a position on the field or a set of demands or expectations that you want to give that player in a game that, quote unquote, might mean something. But those moments of that type of pressure, of that critical mass, so to speak, where players have to sink or swim, are really the moments that create the most growth. And we can do some of that in training, we can do some of that in various games, but when the pressure's on, that's when players really experience the most growth. So over the course of time, being mindful of developing the player, providing the right level of challenge and success really is the most important thing when it comes to developing players, not so much what is the result of the game. Now, granted, in Europe and other parts of the world, promoting players means money, right? It means developing players and selling players, which unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, is not the model here in the United States. However, I do believe that theme of developing players long term, not so much grouping kids by age necessarily, but more by their level of play. And that's one of the things that we're very proud of here at Sporting Omaha, is having a full service club that allows players up and down movement between teams and various levels so that they can progress, they can grow at their own rate. The other thing that I learned on my trip to Spain, which I still hold very important to this day, is the importance of intelligence in the game of soccer. One thing that we try to do starting at our pre-academy and academy programs here is to present players with problem-solving and critical thought situations throughout the course of not just the training session, but the seasonal plan and the yearly plan. Obviously, at some point, there needs to be technical repetition, which may not have critical thought or decision-making to it, but we try to keep those repetitions, those sequences, to a minimum, so that when we have players executing skills, it involves some type of decision making. Maybe that's the space that they've got to work with, or executing decisions based on the defenders that are involved, or having teammates or certain conditions that are on a game that promote thought, decision making, and problem solving. So those are the two things that I took away from my trip to Spain, and we try to use those every day here at Sporting.